Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and another Monday mix. Today is the 24th of March. Now before we get into today's video, because there is quite a few coins to show you and one little surprise at the end. Firstly, I haven't forgotten about the giveaway. I did mention it in one of the Monday mixes a few weeks ago, and if you haven't already entered, there is still time to do so, but you'll need to go back and watch the video and do what needs to be done on there. Secondly, as you're probably aware, the channel is now offering memberships. Now, depending on how you watch these videos, usually a laptop or a computer is best. If you watch it on a mobile, the join button won't be there, but I think if you change it to desktop mode, you will be able to see it. On a TV, I have no idea. Anyway, I'd like to welcome the very first few people who have actually become members of the Moolah crew. I mean, I did call it Moolah because it's like coin crew. So I'd like to thank Coin Patrol. So welcome Paul, Bernadette Cranny. Appreciate that, Bernadette. Northeast Coins, again, thank you very much, Dave. Auntie Audie, appreciate that, Audrey. Ian Ritchie, thanks very much for joining me in. David Lister, welcome along, David. And finally, to Coin Phrase, thanks very much to Cap. So names will be going along the bottom. If you haven't already done so, and if you'd like to help the channel out, the cost is 99p a month. You can cancel at any time. There is some exclusive little badges that you get next to your name when you make any comments. There is exclusive emojis that you can use, which hopefully I'll be able to add to over time, and it will help to pay some bank fees. But one of the perks is to offer the members a chance to see some videos before everybody else. And tonight at around, I think it's 7 PM, so it'll be before the football kicks off, there is the 50p hunt that most people will be seeing on Wednesday, but you will be able to see, as members, you'll be able to see that video beforehand, so keep an eye out for that. So first up, I've got a few coins here that I've got from Change Checker, so just get rid of the evidence. Bump out of there. Right, now I did mention this in last week's mix that I said I was getting this coin. It was part of a Facebook advert, so I got this for half price than what it usually costs. I think it's £15 normally, so £7.50. Obviously I've had to pay postage as well. So it's one of the Peter & Saint series that was issued by Jersey. So we've got Glyn Davies' portrait of King Charles III on the obverse, and the reverse design was done by both Tom Meek and David Lawrence. Now I believe David Lawrence is the one that's currently doing the Tudor Beast series. So I've got St Patrick, and the colorized version, as I said, Celtic cross adorned with some shamrocks. So a very nice coin. Whether I'll get the rest, I'm not going to be taking that out of that little packaging because I think it's ideal. Another bump I've got with us, brand new 50p coins. I know I'll get this a little bit later on. There's no way I'm getting that. So I'll put that to one side. There's no scratch card with that one because it's not one of the UK releases. Next one, again I'll have to get a bump rid of. And the evidence. I've got to check the card for that one. And what have we got here? Right, so stories of the Second World War. So this depicts 3 medals. Now the 3 medals reading left to right are the 1939 to 45 star, Then we've got the defence medal in the middle, and the one on the right is the war medal, 1939 to 45. Designer for this was Timothy Noir. And we've got Martin Gentleman's portrait of King Charles III on the obverse. Now this, as you can see, got the standard crease, but this will be coming out of the packaging and I'll be putting that into a separate flip. And this is going to be the striker run from the 9th to the 15th of May, so it's just going to have a short run. It's possible that it could also be the strike on the day coin on the 8th of May, but as yet we have had no further idea on whether that's going to be the case or not. Right, let's have a look at this first scratch card. Now I have seen that people have been getting Trinity House and Golden Guinea, and I had a reply by Kate from Change Checker to say that these are a new set, so the Army Centenary and the comedies are part of a new set, not part of the old one. So let's see what we have. Yeah, well, I haven't got either of those. I've got a slave trade. Act for the abolition of the slave trade. So let's have a quick scratch of these and we'll have a quick look at some of the information it says on the bottom. I think the UK abolished it is around about, was it 1833 I think, or something like that. So reverse designer David Gentleman. So obviously if you're doing a coin hunt and you have a smooth inner finish with that DG initials, that's the brilliant uncirculated one. It's like a textured version for the standard circulation. So 1807, the Act for the Abolition of the Slave Trade received royal assent and became something a law throughout the British Empire. Very nice. So that's one that I haven't actually seen anybody else gets, so I'll move all that to one side. Actually I might keep that because I have a funny feeling there's going to be another one in this one. What have we got here? Again, get rid of all the bump. And I'll come out with a package. Yeah, let's make sure I've got the evidence out. So I've got another change check card. Now, this is an unusual one. It's in a white card, and it's the latest John Lennon. So I'm just wondering, are they changing it to white from now on? So, got a depiction of his signature there, and then we've got John Lennon. Actually, it's a very good caricature. And these renowned round glasses. And then we've got Imagine down that side, one of his songs. And the designer for this one is Henry Gray, and I think he's done an absolute fabulous job. I've still got to order the BU pack because all the Legends set that I have at the moment, I've got them all in BU packs as well. Some of them I've actually got in the loose version. Again, Martin Gem's portrait. Got the local owner Lennon, so it's obviously some trademark. We've got to have some permission to use. And this is the 10th coin in the Music Legends series. I'll move all these both out of the way, have a look and see what's what later on. And we'll have another go. And I've got the Trinity House, so 2 new ones for me. Now this one had a mintage of 3,705,000 in the coin. It's quite a low minted one, but a lot of people tend to not keep it for some reason. And it's a really nice design. designer Joe Whitlock Blundell and David Eccles. Trinity House is the General Lighthouse Authority for England, Wales, the Channel Islands and Gibraltar. So I'll move that out the way as well. And we'll move the coins out of the way as well. And we'll move the cards out of the way too. Now next up is what happened on this day, and there was only one notable event that I could find that is coin related. So we're going to go back to the 24th of March 1603, where we saw the death of Elizabeth I. Now Elizabeth I actually reigned from 1558 to 1603. She was the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Elizabeth took the throne from her half-sister Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary, and Mary had reigned from 1553 to 1558, and she was the daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. And before that, obviously, we had Edward VI, who actually reigned from the age of 9 in 1547 up to 1553, and he was the son of Henry VIII and Henry VIII's third wife, Jane Seymour. Now Henry VIII actually had it passed in Parliament that both Mary and Elizabeth were classed as illegitimate and were not entitled to the succession to the throne. However, many years later he actually repealed that, and the third Act of Succession that was passed in Parliament allowed both the daughters to take the throne at a later date. Now Elizabeth I was actually noted for her learning and wisdom. From when she took the throne to when she died, she was actually very popular with the people. She had a genius for the selection of capable advisors such as Francis Drake, Walter Raleigh, William Cecil, there was Hawkins, Essex, many more, and made England respected and feared. I mean, the Spanish Armada were beaten in 1588 by Drake, and Walter Raleigh founded the first Virginian colony. And of course, Shakespeare was also at the height of his popularity, and of course Elizabeth never married. She was known as the Virgin Queen. So going back to 2008, I've taken this out of its capsule. The Royal Mint produced this coin. Now it was available from banks and post offices in quite large numbers at face value. I believe it might have been more Crown post offices if anything. So we've got a depiction of Queen Elizabeth I, surrounded by 4 Tudor roses, and Elizabeth I was the last in the Tudor line. She was actually succeeded by James I of England, also known as James VI of Scotland. And then we've got the Roman numerals for 1588 to 2008, and this coin celebrated 450 years of her succession. It was actually designed by Rod Kelly. And the Cupid nickel version, there was 30,649. There was a brilliant uncirculated pack that had a mintage of 26,700, and in the proof sets there was 36,333. This coin was not available in the BU sets of 2008. But very nice coin. I believe Geodesk got me that for face value, I believe. And then we've got Iran Broadley on the obverse. Next we're going to do the UK number 1 on this day. And we're going to go back to 1983, where we saw Duran Duran hit number 1 with Is There Something I Should Know? And it spent 2 weeks at the top of the UK charts, and it was their first number 1 single. And then my brother and his then girlfriend at the time saw them at the Newcastle City Hall. I think it was way back in maybe 1981, when they were an opening and support act to Hazel O'Connor. Now he came home and told me, he says, oh, this band's going to be huge. And of course they have been. Now Duran Duran was actually named after the Barbarella film character Dr. Durand Durand with a D on the end, who was actually played by Milo O'Shea. Duran Duran was actually formed in Birmingham in 1978 by singer and drummer Stephen Duffy He was also known as Stephen Tintin Duffy, where he had a hit of his own with Kiss Me. There was also keyboard player Nick Rhodes and guitarist John Taylor. Now, after several changes, the final lineup in 1980 consisted of Rhodes, Taylor, singer Simon Le Bon, drummer Roger Taylor and guitarist Andy Taylor. By the way, drummer Roger Taylor isn't the Roger Taylor that plays for Queen. Now, Roger and Andy Taylor left the band before the recording of their fourth album, with the remaining members continuing briefly as a trio. Then a new drummer and guitarist were added in 1989, but the drummer left in 1991. Then John Taylor also left in 1997. But 4 years later, in 2001, a full reunion of the original lineup took place, which saw them have some successful tours. And there was also a release of a 2004 album, which reached number 3 in the album charts. Guitarist Andy Taylor left again in 2006, and the remaining 4 continue to play to this day. Now, to date, they've actually released 16 studio albums, and although they've had over 50 UK singles, many reaching the top 10, only Is There Something I Should Know and The Reflex have actually hit number 1 in the UK. Now, I've only got 2 albums by Duran Duran myself. I've got the self-titled Duran Duran, which was the first album they had, and Rio. And I must say Rio is probably one of my favourite albums of all time. I've been on eBay making some purchases once again, and all of these are from the Isle of Man that I'm about to show you. So this one is from 2017, and it is the Christmas coin for that year. Now, I did mention in a good few episodes a while back that the 50 pences were replaced by this £5 coin, and it's the only £5 coin they've ever produced for the Isle of Man for Christmas. And then from 2018 it reverted to a £2 coin. So I've got the Christmas dove there. Cost us in total £12.58, which was inclusive of £2.50 postage. It was decent. I mean, I actually got a reduction in price. I did watch it, and then the seller said, you know, I've got it on offer for a little bit less if you want. So yeah, so I went for it. It's a nice colour, isn't it? It's like a sort of a glass colour effect. But I enjoyed that. Really nice coin. Now, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the thing I said, Vikings are coming. Now, I use this guide if I'm buying any 50p coins, and it is fantastic. It gives you a rough idea of what you should be paying. Now, I did win an auction. Now, the auction price I got it for was £31.04, but there was £2.70 postage on top, which came to £33.74. However, the coins that I'm about to show you are approximate value between £35 and £55, so I think I've done pretty well there. Now, the first one is the Viking ship from 1975. So I don't have this one in the collection. Fortunately, there is a little bit damage, you can see. There's no dye marks on this one. That one had a mintage of 227,000 and approximate value between £4 and £7. The next one is from 1976. Now, this one, fortunately, I do already have. Out of the 8, 3 of them I already have, but I'm thinking somewhere along the lines I'll be able to either swap them or sell them all. This one, approximate value between £4 and £6, and this had a mintage of 250,000. Similar design. And this one's from 1978. Mintage of 25,000 that I've found for this. And this one is priced between £6 and £8. Now, this next one As you can see, it's got the day of Tynwald, July the 5th. So Tynwald Day, it's like their Parliament Day, is held on the 5th every year of July. Only weekdays only, so if the 5th did actually fall on a Saturday or a Sunday, which I think it does this year, I think it's a Saturday, so that means the Tynwald Day is going to be July the 7th. So they have it's the House of Keys, and I can't remember, is it the Legislative? I think they meet at actually St John's Chapel, and also outside of Tynwald Hill, rather than meeting in Douglas. Now in 1979, when this coin was produced, it was also the same year as a royal visit. Now this coin would have normally been between £3 and £5. I don't have a mintage figure for it. However, the royal visit ones had an inscription on. And as you can see, that's got Queen Elizabeth II, royal visit, Isle of Man, July 1979, HM. So it's HM, so that's be Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. So it's, this actually bumped the price up, like I said, between £6 and £8. So what I told you at the beginning, between 35 and 55, is now being increased to 38 to £58 because of this single coin. And I don't have that one. Well, by the way, this one does have an AA die, which you can just see the front of the boat where the waves are. Don't know if I can zoom in any further. There you go, just see it there now. Now this one is from 1980. You can see a different design, like a long ship. Now 1980 is the one I do already have. Now this die mark is down in the middle, just between the 50, and it's an AB die, that one. Now this one priced at between £4 and £8, mintage figure of 203,138, but as I said, I've already got that one. This one, similar design again, and this one is also an AB die. Again, just in the middle between the 5 and the 0. 1983 for that one. At mintage of 162,524, price again between £5 and £7. And then a new design. This is dated 1984. AA die, not just below the 50. Mintage jacket fine for this was 282,567. Price again between £5 and £7. And last but not least, got one with the same design. Again, an AB die. Now this one's right at the bottom of the coin. And this one is one I've already got. Price between £4 and £7, mintage of 25,000. So I've got 8 Viking ships. I've actually found another one online which I've bought, so that'll be coming hopefully sometime during the week. And last, we're going to finish off with a bit of a surprise. My wife and I have been busy clearing out our loft and getting rid of a few bits and bobs, and there was something that we found there that I thought I'd lost. Now, it's been in my mother's attic beforehand, before I was married, and I thought maybe that's where it's been left. And anyway, it turned up. Unfortunately, it's not in the best of conditions, But it was 100 years of football. Now these were little tokens that you could get from the SO garages. So I would have been probably around 15-year-old at the time, and I know my granddad, I used to get his petrol from the SO garages and used to get the little tokens for us. But there was some quite interesting bits and bobs in all this. So there I've got the Blackburn Rovers outfit. I won the cup in 1884. But, it's hard to read right the way through it, but one of the photographs I found on here, I mean, look at the markings there. Looks more like a hockey pitch. So you've got like the semicircle where the 6-yard goal area is now, and that's a big line there. And that says Spurs against Sheffield United in the 1901 final. We'll have a look at the coins in a second. There's some quite interesting photographs. There are two cup. There's Aston Villa playing against Newcastle. Fortunately, Newcastle got beat in that one, but they've won the cup on several occasions. And obviously, they've just won the League Cup in the last week. And that was the first Wembley final. And they didn't expect nearly 200,000 spectators arriving, and of course the police constable on his white horse clearing the pitch before they could actually start. I think they ended up sitting around the outside of the pitch. And we've got Bert Troutman, 1956, actually broke his neck in that game, he didn't realise. And on this side we've got the amateur winners, 1872, 1883, so that was the original cup. Now these aren't the exact designs, I think it says something at the bottom there. Many of these early football clubs had no official badge. It was often the practice to wear such emblems as the town crest or even an old school badge. It says in cases where no specific badge can be traced, we've reproduced an appropriate emblem based upon the available information. So I've got the Wanderers, Oxford University, Royal Engineers, Old Etonians, Clapham Rovers, Old Carthusians and Blackburn Olympic. Then we've got a list of all the winners. But the main thing is the actual tokens, so I'll just put that in like that. So there's the actual medal. So Leeds United won the centenary, and of course my team actually beat Leeds in the following year. But some of the coins, I'm afraid, or the tokens, are in a bit of a bad state. They've started to corrode around the outside, so obviously it's because they've been in the loft where it's been a bit damp. I mean, there's no damp to it, but you can see everything's falling to bits just about. So we've got Aston Villa, Barnsley, Blackburn Rovers, Blackpool, Bolton Wanderers. I mean, these crests are not quite right, are they? Bradford City, Burnley, Bury, who no longer exist. They went out of the Football League a good few years ago. Cardiff City, the only team to take the cup out of England. 1927, I think, to beat Arsenal 1-0. Charlton Athletic, Chelsea, Derby County, that's Smithy's team, Everton, Huddersfield Town, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Notts County, Nottingham Forest, Portsmouth, Preston North End, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Tottenham Hotspur, West Brom, and West Ham and Wolverhampton Wanderers. So obviously that was the first time Leeds had actually won the FA Cup. Anyway, that was it was a nice little find, and like I say, they're not in too bad condition. Like I say, they started to get a bit corrosion around the edges. But anyway, that's it for today, folks. Don't forget, members, we've got that little video that you'll be watching a little bit later on tonight. So in the meantime, thank you for watching, and until the next time, keep on hunting, enjoy yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.